Hello and welcome back to Hal TV. Today we are going to be reviewing the Silverstone NB04. So this is an all aluminium notebook cooler from their Noble Breeze series of coolers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you around the product and tell you my opinions on the design and everything, and then we'll cover the performance, and then I'll give you my conclusion at the end. So yeah, let's go in and take a closer look at the Silverstone NB04. So here's the best angle for you to see most of the cooler and most of the particular features that I'm going to go through in a second. This cooler is actually kind of hard to capture on video and get it to look like it does in person, because with the whole kind of lines and everything, it's actually kind of quite hard to pick up on camera. But yeah, I'll try my best. Basically, this is what it looks like from the top / front or whatever. So we have the Silverstone logo down here at the front. That is the only branding really that you'll find on this product. Now I would prefer it just be kind of the frosted kind of icicle logo without the Silverstone name, because I think that would be a little more sleek and stylish. But then again, it's such a small logo on quite a large product that I'm not really that fussed. And I have noticed it does look better on the silver version rather than the black version, so that if you do go with the silver option, it won't be quite as intruding. Now when it comes to the material used, it uses 4mm thick aluminium throughout the product, so everywhere you will find 4mm thick aluminium, and this goes in regards to all the dimensions. So to start off with, we have a 4mm thick sheet that starts underneath at the bottom, and then it curves around and then all the way up down to the back and then round again. Now not only is it 4mm thick that way, but these struts here that allow the airflow through, they're also 4mm wide, with 4mm in between each strut, basically meaning that the aluminium or the material used on this cooler only covers 50% of the space, allowing 50% of the space for airflow, with the 20cm fan below it. Now you do have two struts here to not only connect the fan to, but to add a little bit of strength. But when it comes to strength, due to the fact that they've used such thick aluminium, you're not going to find any cooler that's stronger than this that's made of plastic. So it's extremely strong, and a lot of the other aluminium notebook coolers don't actually use as thick aluminium, so even they won't be as strong as this. They might use 2mm or 1mm thick if they were just using, you know, an aluminium faceplate and then have a bit of plastic or whatever underneath it, which some companies do. Not only that, but the curves here, so we've got the curve at the bottom, that's actually curved around, so there's a ridge here, so the laptops and notebooks or whatever don't just come sliding off, they do kind of sit there at the bottom. And up at the top here, it doesn't just, the struts don't just stop, they kind of blend into the curve, so they disappear up at the top. So that bit's a single piece of aluminium, and then you've got these two bits around the side, and these are going to give you a little bit of cable management. So you've got like channels down the sides to manage your cables, hide things underneath, so that you can essentially turn this cooler into kind of the start of maybe a desktop area for your notebook, kind of like a dock as such. So that's the top covered, and if we go around to the back, you will notice that there's not really that much to say, other than you have a USB port down here to power the 20cm fan, as it does come directly from fan to USB with no kind of connections in between. Now this is a particular area that I'm not too happy with. I would have preferred, and you'll see why, that the USB port to connect the fan actually be hidden away somewhere, so that you can connect it if you don't want to, and if you want to, and if you don't want to, it's just hidden. So you can see when you connect the USB cable to connect the power to power the fan, it does stick out quite a bit, and it's not that nice. And even when you don't have it connected, it is still quite noticeable there. And I would have preferred to have the connection on the inside on this plate down here, so that you can just go in and, you know, connect it somehow. Maybe you've already got it pre-connected or whatever, and you know you've got it down there out the way, and then the only cable, or the only section of this cable that needs to be out at all, will be, you know, a tiny little bit to plug it in. So that's probably my main issue with this cooler, and it's for a product to have, you know, the biggest niggle be something like that is quite nice at the end of the day. So if I flip it around and I'll show you the bottom, you will notice that there is 4 feet, so we've got 4 rubber feet here. Now these cover the screws that connect the sides onto, so if you wanted to remove the sides, which you can because, you know, they're connected via screws, you'd have to remove them and then re-stick them back on. Other than that, we have the 20cm fan there. It's clear so that you don't see it that well when you've got it flipped around. Now, I'm not a big fan of fans on notebook coolers because, you know, they tend to be loud, and this one, it's not loud but it is noticeable, but I'll get onto that into the performance. But this can be removed via 4 screws here, and then the USB port via 2 screws there. Now I did notice that when I removed it, the whole cooler looked a hell of a lot nicer, but when I screwed it back on, I actually stripped one of the threads on the cooler so that it's now without a screw. So if you are going to do that, be careful, because the threads are really easy to strip on this cooler, as it is made of aluminium. So yeah, let's move on to performance. So moving on to the performance, compared to a flat surface, a flat hard surface, we noticed a 9 degrees Celsius drop in heat by using this particular cooler, which surprised me because I've used coolers in the past, and some of them actually heat up the laptop. I'm not going to lie. You get some quite terrible coolers out there, and some of them don't really help that much, other than they stop the laptop from burning your legs. But I did notice a 9 degrees Celsius drop in temperature by using this with the fan on, and I did still notice a drop in temperature when not using the fan. I think it was around 4 to 5 degrees. So with or without the fan, this cooler does perform. But with the fan on, it is noticeable, and I did hear a slight clicking from the fan with it being on. But after around 30 seconds, really the noise, being a 20cm fan, it does kind of disappear into the background, and you get used to it. You know, when you've got the laptop on anyway, it doesn't really add anything to the overall noise when you have both of them on. That being said, let's move on to the conclusion. So the NB04 really comes in to the market at quite a high price tag, so it's in kind of the top end of the market when it comes to coolers. Obviously you've got some super high-end ones that cost a ton, but in the general market it's up there when it comes to the price. So really you've got to think that it's got to bring something new to the table. It's got to bring a lot of features to really be worth the money. Not really. It does have, you know, features such as it's all aluminium, and that it has a 20cm fan, and that it does work. But there's no kind of fan control, there's no you know, there's no USB port, there's no nothing. It's just a piece of aluminium at the end of the day. But then again, it is just a piece of aluminium. There's no plastics, there's no nothing, which, you know, it makes you think, well, you know, it's just a piece of aluminium, but then again, it's a piece of aluminium. So it's a good point and it's a bad point at the same time. Yeah, really, at the end of the day, we gave it a 16 out of 20, both on value and its rating regardless of price. So, you know, the two coupled together gave it a 16 out of 20, meaning that we gave it our silver award. It just barely got the silver award, but it still got the silver award. And the reason is that compared to other aluminium products, it blows them out of the water on just the quality of the aluminium, thickness, and everything. And the fact that it's not plastic, the fact that it works, and the fact that it actually cools really impressed me as a cooler hater, you could call me. And it's actually probably one of the only coolers that I'm gonna actually end up using ever, because I'm not really into the whole cooler thing, but with this one I will actually use it. So we gave it our silver award with 16 out of 20 as it reached the silver category, or the silver borderline. And yeah, that is the that's the video review of the Silverstone NB04. Please go check the unboxing or the written review, sorry, on this particular product, as well as going over to the Haltech TV website and check that out, because there's a lot of content on that website you won't find anywhere else on the Haltech TV network. Other than that, I'm Hal Thompson. You've been watching another Haltech TV video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and goodbye.